Canada's largest airline is now grounded. A strike deadline has passed for more than 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants. Hundreds of flights are cancelled, impacting over 100,000 travelers, leaving some stranded. The federal government is calling the lack of progress unacceptable.
You ever plan your dream summer vacation and then feel your heart drop the moment you hear Air Canada operations suspended? That's exactly what happened on August 16, 2025, when more than 10,000 flight attendants walked off the job at Canada's largest airline, triggering a full-blown shutdown in the midst of peak travel season. They hit the picket lines at exactly 1 a.m. EDT after contract negotiations collapsed and a deadline passed. Almost immediately, the airline grounded all flights for Air Canada and its low-cost Rouge brand, locking attendants out of airports and leaving travelers scattered worldwide. It's not just one airport or one region, it's the entire operation. Roughly 130,000 passengers expected on flights each day, many of them Canadians stranded abroad, suddenly found themselves stuck. Air Canada operates around 700 flights daily, making this a colossal disruption.
Air Canada says so far, more than 600 flights have been grounded. Here at YVR, the Flight Status Board shows that almost all Air Canada departing flights are either canceled or are delayed.
Want to know how it all unraveled? Here's how it happened. For 8 months, Air Canada and the Canadian Union of Public Employees, CUPE, faced off. The union wanted fair pay, including compensation for groundwork like boarding passengers. The airline countered with a 38% total compensation increase over 4 years, offering 25% in the first year. CUPE rejected it as below inflation, below market value. Air Canada asked the government for binding arbitration, hoping to force a mediated resolution that would strip the union's right to strike. CUPE said no. And on Friday night, Jobs Minister Patty Haydu met with both sides, urging them to make a deal once and for all. She called the deadlock unacceptable, noting how many Canadians depended on a working airline. By Saturday morning, it was official. No deal, no work. The strike was on. But why did this blow up now? Here's the why, straight and hard. A decade-long contract expired earlier this year. Flight attendants sought overdue ground pay, a growing issue in the airline industry. Inflation has eroded wages. CUPE warned the airline's offer barely kept pace. Public sentiment tilted toward the flight attendants. Polling shows around 59% of Canadians support demands like boarding pay. Businesses and policymakers fear an escalating ripple effect. Disruption of air passenger and cargo services would cause immediate, extensive harm.
We are a family of 4 traveling with 2 kids, and yeah, we are stuck here waiting for some help and assistance if we can get to Calgary faster.
They haven't canceled our flight yet, so we're just kind of in a holding pattern now. And yeah, hopeful, absolutely.
Now, the fallout? It's immediate and massive. 130,000 people disrupted daily. Up to 25,000 Canadians stranded abroad each day. Flights began winding down earlier. 623 canceled by Friday night alone. Airlines offered refunds and rebooking, but alternatives are sparse. Most flights are full. Regional flights by Air Canada Express, Jazz, PAL continue, but it's a small slice of the network. Rebuilding full operations could take up to a week once a deal is in place. Did you know? This is the first cabin crew strike since 1985. The union members voted 99.7% in favor of striking. That's almost total consensus. CUPE's demand for ground pay taps into a universal frustration, unpaid invisible labor before planes even lift. In major economic sectors, binding arbitration is rare and controversial. It diminishes union leverage. This is a pattern being challenged. What's the status right now, and what's next? Right now, strike is ongoing. Since August 16, 2025, operations remain grounded. Passengers are drowning in uncertainty. Refunds are offered, but backups are few. The government is watching closely. Pressure is mounting for arbitration or return to talks. Looking ahead, a deal could take days, but restarting service will take up to a week. If arbitration is forced, it may resolve the disruption, but unions warn that's erosion of collective bargaining power. Lasting changes could emerge. Maybe ground pay becomes standard across Canada. Maybe airlines rethink contract timelines. Maybe public support shifts the power balance. Okay, so what do you do if your flight's canceled? Don't go to the airport unless you're booked on a non-Air Canada flight. Head to Air Canada's website or app to request a full refund or change dates. Now, to between August 21 and September 12, no fee if booked before August 14th. Get ready for longer call center waits, but stay informed. The situation is fluid. Let's wrap this up. This strike isn't just a travel headache. It's a story about labor, fairness, and how one broken contract can ripple across a nation. What'll happen next? A breakthrough deal that balances fairness and feasibility, or a sharp fight over arbitration that could reshape Canada's labor landscape? Think about this. When work behind the scenes goes unpaid, who pays the real price? If this gave you something to think about, hit that subscribe button. Drop your thoughts below. Have you been stranded before? What's your take on ground pay? Until next time, safe travels wherever your destination may be.